This is the Atlanta Season 3, Episode 8 review, New Jazz. So we're back with the mains, specifically Al, Darius, and Ern, and a ghost. More on that later. So this is an Al censored episode. Those tend to be one of the best ones during the season, usually. This is very reminiscent of The Woods, which was Season 2, Episode 8. So it's kind of like he's still on this journey, and Paperboy is still out here trying to find comfort in himself while getting to know his new form. I don't want to say his final form because that's not what it is. He's still evolving. But Darius and Al are on a mission to indulge in space cakes at a cafe in Amsterdam. Fortunately, this is not another botched adventure, and they actually see it through. They spot a man that's wearing a Goofy hat because Goofy's the best. But he was having a bad trip, and Darius essentially warns Al not to be like him and assures him that he's a tourist. Again, more on that later. Put that in your pocket. So once they reach the cafe, the barista kind of warns Al about the impending trip. He's not too much worried about Darius because he looks like he's been here before and has got experience. So Darius just assures Al that he loves him before they take off. Throughout this entire episode, I want to say the cinematography is on point. It's very bright, nice and cheery, but thoroughly placing you into his shoes as they trip because you're experiencing everything with him. Al is completely lost in his surroundings. In bliss, the music intensifies. Listen closely to the lyrics if you missed them, just specifically what they were saying. And I feel like that's a perfect song for Amsterdam. But in this instance, it's a perfect song for Al because it depicts what he is going through. And throughout the scenes, you'll notice that people are noticing him. He's acknowledging it reluctantly. And that quickly comes to a halt when Darius brings his attention to a dead rat. Or, well, a dying rat, because it was still twitching. But, yeah, that was just... took him out of the zone for a second. So, onto the red light district. A sex worker snaps a picture of him through the window. Then a group of guys notice him on the streets. It's more people noticing him and how he deals with that. He's still not really comfortable with the idea of being noticed and standing out. So it's kind of like he's trying to be samey and blend in these moments. At least that's how I took it. Meanwhile, Darius, where are you, sir? Yes, he has experience with these things, but it's kind of like if he hasn't done this before, you're his guide or whatever, so you kind of got to be there. But I guess he wanted him to, or I feel like this was something that he had experienced for himself, but like ideally not mobile because he's literally walking the streets tripping. So yeah, so he makes his way into a museum and escapes the bustle of the group of guys that noticed him on the street and basically play keep away with this woman's baby. It was wild. He's tripping, so I'm assuming that really didn't occur, obviously. But yeah, it was pretty funny because he just completely yeeted that baby. So once in the museum, he comes across a white woman just sobbing, losing it. White tears everywhere. He's trying to intervene. He's concerned, but at the same time, she's like, shh, shh, like, beat it, get out of here, scram. And he's like, wait, what? And then he finally realizes it's a performance art piece. White woman tears are on display. And people are just watching, eating crisps, and enjoying, I'm assuming. Because nobody really had emotion in that scene. It was just more so them just watching her writhe in tears. So this is where he meets Lorraine, the aforementioned ghost. More on that later. Lorraine wastes no time. She immediately goes in on every and anything in sight as they make their way through the exhibit, including his hat, offers him a Goofy hat that we saw earlier on Tourist. She advises him to become what he fears, and, more confusion with him. He's kind of questioning it, but he doesn't really fight it. He's reluctant to listen to her because, you're a random stranger, lady, I don't know you. So, yeah. But that's just creepy within itself because who really wants to let go of that much control? But even though, or the autonomy of him styling himself and being free to do so, rather than just fitting in with the crowd and wearing a goofy hat. To stand out, he's kind of blending in. I feel like even the clothes that he does have on, it's not too flashy. He's still Al at the end of the day. He's not doing too much. You can tell he kind of like switched it up a bit, came to labels and stuff, but he isn't doing the most. He's still himself, I would say. So Al and Lorraine head to the cancel club. Lorraine's friends are probably as abrasive as she is, and they constantly just put him on the spot with random assumptions of his intentions with Lorraine and her reputation with rappers, how they call her House 106 in Park. It's pretty bad. But yeah, it again leaves him in a situation where he kind of flees from annoyances and the noise to seek solace elsewhere. However, he doesn't really get that solace because he runs into Liam Neeson at the bar. Surprise, surprise. While at the bar, Neeson, he kind of goes into that weirdo interview of his where he admits to wanting to kill a black bastard for assaulting a friend of his. These are his words, these are not mine. They're probably even worse than this, but yeah. Based on those allegations, that was like a situation a couple years ago. So Al even questions Neeson, like, have you learned your lesson from this? But directly asked him that. And thanks to the white Liam Neeson, we learn the best and the worst part of being white is that you don't have to learn anything if you don't want to. Other than sitting with that, what else can you do with that? I feel like that sentiment essentially is the tagline for the season, or would make a good tagline for the season, I should say. It fits. It's very fitting. So all the while, time is just all over the place. I mean, he's tripping, so he's not really, regarding time, and it's not like he has anywhere to go. He's chilling today. By the time they head out of the bar, it's daytime again, so it's all over the place. It's just adding to the whole trippy effect. So Lorraine begins to read him again, per usual, telling him that he's surrounded by enablers and leeches and people that essentially don't tell him the truth and they're just along for the ride. Just putting it short. So again, kind of getting flashbacks from the old man in the woods, the one that told him that he is just like his mother. Creepy. So he comes down bad and he ends up as a tourist that they walked past in the beginning that was wrapped up in the poncho with the goofy hat in the corner. Crazy. After a 10-hour slumber, he wakes up. Ern looked out for him. Circling back to Ern and his growth as a manager with zero experience from being homeless to this, his character development has been ridiculous thus far. He just continues to come through and proves his loyalty to Al over and over again. Which, I mean, he had his doubts in certain situations, but it seems like Ern is probably has been the most consistent that he has been. Not only did he make sure that he got him back to a hotel safely, she ain't just throw up his clothes, but Al is kind of like coming to, so he's questioning a lot of things that are going on around him. And he even asks Ern, do I own my masters? Ern's like, huh? We kind of have a weird exchange for a little bit, and obviously as an audience, you're like, yo, did he cover him with this? I hope so. If not, he about to get fired on his day off, because that's major. Because Lorraine did put him on and told him, if you don't own your masters, you basically are nothing when it comes to this music-ish. Your power is within your masters, if you are within music. Cliffhanger wasn't that bad. It wasn't even that much of a cliffhanger, to be honest. It was answered. And yes, he says, you do. You own your masters. Which is amazing. So that gives Al peace of mind, reassuring him that Ern is there for him. Not necessarily proving Lorraine correct, because she had doubts about everything. I mean, I might as well get into it. Typical of moms to basically look out for you in certain situations. Probably don't like what you do as a profession. And they just want the best for you when it comes down to it. So they'll tend to be your conscience and question everything that's going on with you, essentially just to make sure that you are okay. Lorraine, in my eyes, served as his spiritual guide as if his mom was checking in on him. That sounds kind of weird and kind of like, ooh, but yeah, that, whatever. That's how I took it. Al, he eventually asked for Lorraine. He's like, yo, where's Lorraine? And Ernest, confusion. Your mom? The ghost. So his inner conscious guide was his mother, Lorraine. And we did learn that she had passed before in season one. His mom's concerns turn out to be false for what we see now. I mean, we didn't really catch up with Darius, so that tail end of it, I mean, for the most part, Darius still holds it down. I would say he's not really Ernst's man. Well, he's not Al's manager, so it's not like he is high stakes, high pressure, and has like responsibility to make sure the business side of things are okay. He's just, you know, that's his entourage. And I feel like when it comes down to experiences and making sure that he's still kind of grounded, he's there. But to our knowledge, he hasn't been canceled. So the whole cancel club situation and Lorraine basically going in on a ton of different people and naming celebrities who have been canceled for like some egregious situations in the past. It's possibly Al feeling guilt, maybe from his band ambassadorship, or just general anxiety from events that haven't even happened yet. Him not feeling secure within himself. Hell, even the experience when they even the cancer attack experience that could come back on him for his manager shaking down a kid with cancer to find his phone. Like all of these things are still live in his head, still happening. And of course, he doesn't have his phone, so he's still going through that creative block. So he has nothing to do but think about this situation and how to ratify everything that's going on, really. And I feel like Al is still within the journey of finding himself for the most part, but he is making some progress since he's questioning his reality after experiencing his journey with his mother and actually getting answers from the people that were being questioned. We do need to have like real talk with Darius. We'll just see. I don't know if it'll be real talk, but you know what it is. It'll probably be something that's more actionable because Darius just seems like more of a show me type of person. But overall, I feel like this episode did well with elucidating the tension. Again, putting you within Al's shoes while he was experiencing this trip. And the new jazz thing, I feel like that had to deal with hip hop, but you know what? It doesn't seem like a reach, but who knows? Leave it up to your interpretation as well. We can pretty much assume Darius is cool. He's probably just doing just fine. He's been through some things before, so you don't really have to worry about him. Van is likely somewhere shoplifting, allegedly. And Ern is holding his composure amidst everything that's happening. He seems to be dealing with it well, but again, he's really not expressing himself. And he's kind of busying himself rather than dealing with what he has going on. I don't want to say as a distraction. It's just productivity just keeps his productivity keeps him productive. No, productivity keeps him busy, and rather than dealing with the problems and facing them immediately, he kind of has put them on the back burner, which is not always great because misplacing stuff and just holding it in is not wonderful. And hopefully, his release is not like an outburst or anything wild, but we'll see. Ern typically handles his ish well, so hopefully get some resolve from him too. We not getting Lottie this season, are we? Where is the baby? Yo, Van's mom just like, remember, she didn't know where she went. So the baby's just chilling, being smart, getting gold stars. Hopefully Lottie's cool too back in America. And since we have 2 episodes left, there's only so much time, and there's so much subject matter that you can fit into these last two. This went by too fast. I'm saying like it's already over, but it did. Yeah. It's been good so far. I enjoyed it. Next week, typically don't address next week, but it looks very wild considering the recent events. We're so close to the end. I feel like it's been a solid season. You know, a lot of people are being very critical of it. I don't know why, but hey, it's people. Don't be a goofy.